Hello everybody, it's Kate the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is Thursday, November 6th, 7 p.m. Pacific time if you are catching me live on Facebook. If you're catching me on a replay, you tell me what day and what time it is. Either way, I'm happy to have you here, whether you're catching me live or popping in on a replay. And today is project number 1 in the Delicate Pines card class at home. I will be featuring this bundle each Thursday evening in November with a new project. So I'm pretty excited. It is going to be Christmas cards on Thursdays. Yep, that's right, I said it. It's time to make some Christmas cards, friends. For those of you who don't know me, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada on Vancouver Island. And I think we're ready. I'm just going to mess around with my laptop so I can bring up some comments, and then I'm going to flip the screen around. We'll go through the measurements and we'll get started. If you're crafting along, we're getting inky tonight. Very, very inky. All right, flipping the camera around now. Quick shot at my extremely messy workspace. All right, here we go. All right, comments are popping up. Hello, Donna. Hello, Kathleen. Thanks for tuning in. I got your card today. You made my day. In fact, I'm gonna have to share it since you're popping in live because it's gorgeous. So my friend Kathleen sent me a card in the mail. I got it today. Oh my gosh, Kathleen, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So there's beautiful stamping on the inside. I'll give you a quick peek because I have a personal message and I don't know if it's fair to share it, but it's so beautiful. Thank you, Kathleen. You're very thoughtful and you're very talented. So I was really happy to see that in the mail today. Hello, Leanne. It is going to be a smudgy evening, so I'm going to live up to the nickname you've given me because this card that I'm going to show you is going to be a ton of stamping. So let's get going. I'll show you the measurements. So I have got a A2 card base in thick basic white. And then I have got a pretty peacock layer that's 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch, followed by a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, just a little scrap for a little bit of stamping. And what we're going to do is stamp lots right on this piece of basic white. So to get started, I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. I feel like I need to take my sweater off and crack my knuckles because there's going to be so much stamping. I'm using several of the stamps in the set. I'll show you which ones actually. There's so many. I'll be using this one, this one, the little acorn, these, I don't know, pine needles, parts of a spruce tree, I'm not sure. This one, this sentiment, and this sentiment. So there's lots happening. All right, but just a little bit of die cutting. So to start out, hey Trudy, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to take my pretty peacock. Now I've got a baby wipe right here because this is dangerous for me. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I tend to get ink absolutely everywhere. I get it on my fingers and then I transfer it to my card. All right, so I've just inked up Celebrate the Season in Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to stamp that about a third of the way down closer to the right edge of the card. Nailed it. Nailed it. Hey, Lena, thanks for tuning in. I don't need this stamp anymore, so I'm going to get that out of the way. And I will use Pretty Peacock again, but for now, I'm just going to get it out of the way so, see, look I've already got ink on my fingers. I know it's the way I close my ink pads. I just haven't figured out the right way to do it that doesn't get myself inky. Hey Deb, thanks for tuning in. Next, I'm going to use the pine needles or the spruce needles, I'm not sure. And I'm going to ink that up in shaded spruce. Now, I don't have a full-size shaded spruce. I'm going to use my little ink spot. These are so handy. If you get paper pumpkins, you can really build up your ink collection. So, pro tip, build up your ink collection with paper pumpkins. All right, so I'm just going to stamp these in the top right corner, offsetting it a little bit. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing in the bottom left corner. Hey Sue, Sue's watching in Australia. Susan, I see you, and hello Kate. Thanks for tuning in. All right, I'm going to ink this up one more time. And I will use the shaded spruce again, but that'll be one of the last little pieces of the stamping that we're going to do. So this one I'm just going to do right in the bottom left corner. I'm going to use this again for the inside, but that will come after. All right, checking my fingers. Yep, good to go. All right, the next stamp we're going to use will be the medium-sized snowflake design, and I'm going to stamp this one in Lost Lagoon. All right, I'm getting hot already. It's because there's a lot of stamping going on. All right, I'm going to add, just make sure I got enough ink on that. I'm just going to add these larger, well, the medium-sized snowflake pattern just around the sentiment, kind of in a little bit of a half circle. I'm not going to use that again, so I'm going to get that out of the way and close up the Lost Lagoon. And I don't think I need Lost Lagoon again. Now, I just got a little bit of ink. I'm going to wipe that up so I don't smudge it on the card. All right, next we need this little snowflake design, which is, I guess, the third largest. There's two that are the same size, so either one would work. You choose which one you want to do. It's up to you. Okay. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Before I do that, changing my mind, I'm going to get the small little snowflake. And I'm going to stamp this right in the middle of each one of these Lost Lagoon patterns. And then I'll do that in the pool party. All right, I'm missing some comments. Oh my goodness. I've missed a lot. All right, Heidi from Newfoundland. Oh wow, thanks for tuning in. Hello, Janine from Pennsylvania, Lorraine from Chilliwack, Jamie, nice to see you. Hello, Jeanette. Jenny Lynn from Tennessee. Busy night on the Facebook. I'm really happy to have you guys. All right, pool party. Little snowflake. And this is kind of like two-step stamping because we are going to layer the little snowflake right in the middle of our Lost Lagoon pattern. These are pretty easy to line up, especially if you can get your head right over your stamp so you can see what you're doing. All right, so now we've layered Pool Party onto the Lost Lagoon. I will use Pool Party again, but for now I'm going to grab the pretty Peacock and we're going to layer one more color in these snowflake patterns. All right, hello Jackie, hello Carol from Michigan. Now I'm going to use this medium-sized snowflake pattern. Either one, like I said, there's two that are similar in size. Either one would work. It's just which one do you like best? Whichever one that is, use that one. All right, so now I'm going to layer this one. And I need to, oops, you know what? I did that wrong. Hang on. Craft mistake. I'm starting over. Well, not completely over. You'll see what I'm going to do. All right, grabbing the pool party. I should have stamped the little snowflakes in the Pretty Peacock, so I'm going to go over those again with the Pretty Peacock after I stamp this. So it's not, you know what? It's not a Kate card unless I mess up, right? Definitely not. Hello, Carol. Hey, Cindy. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Janice. All right, so now, if you're just tuning in, you have no idea that I messed up, except if you've been watching me for a while, you're expecting it. All right, so now I'm doing the medium-sized snowflake pine pattern in Pool Party. And then I'm going to fix my mistake and go over the small snowflake in the Pretty Peacock. Now I could leave it the way it is. I'll give you guys a little close up. I could just leave it Lost Lagoon on Pool Party. That's fine. But I do want that contrast of the darker color with the little snowflake. So I'm just going to fix my mistake. And I am going to stamp over them. And I feel like because Pretty Peacock is so dark, it's not going to look like I even made a mistake. Did I just restamp that in Pool Party? I totally did. All right. Okay. Somebody put on a pot of coffee for me because I clearly need it at 7 o'clock at night. All right, here we go. Fixing all mistakes and you won't even know. You won't even know. Okay. Here we go. Now we're at this. So you can tell that you can actually barely tell that I made a mistake, right? Because the Pretty Peacock covers everything and these stamps are pretty easy to line up. So crisis averted, crisis averted. All right, next I want to add some of the small snowflakes in Pool Party in some of, and fill up some of that negative space. All right. Now I can't mess this up, right? Just one color. And I'm just going to, just randomly, and I'm going to offset a little bit. I don't really have any rhyme or reason. There we go. That looks good. Okay, moving on. Now we have, this is messy, this little stamp. I don't know what to call it. It's a sprig of some sort. We're going to add this, and let's do this one in, you know what? Let's do a little more Pretty Peacock, I think. I like Pretty Peacock. It's one of my favorite colors. I like shades of blue. Thanks, Deb. I think it's pretty too. It comes together, and it's simple, right? Because sometimes it's nice to just do a little bit of simple stamping where you're not getting too fancy. And two-step stamping, or with the stamps that come in the Delicate Pines bundle, they're really easy to layer, so it makes it funner. Is that a word? I don't think funner is a word. It's more fun. That's what I'm looking for. I had a grade 4 tell me last year that funner isn't a word, and I'm like, really? Because that seems less fun. All right, okay. I think I need just a smidge more. It's getting a little busy. I should probably settle down. All right, now I'm going to set this aside just for a second and grab the card base. So for the inside, because it's just a thick, basic white card base, I do want to stamp a little bit on the inside so it's not boring. I don't want it to be boring. But I seem to have, oh, here it is. I had a stamp for the inside and I almost misplaced it, but it was right in front of me. All right, so this is a very thin stamp with block letters and just a little bit of script for the word magical right in the middle. So it says, it's the most magical time of the year. I really like how this sentiment combines the block letters with the script. So I'm just going to put that right in the middle, or just about in the middle, as close as I can get in the middle. Now I'm going to close up my pretty peacock. All right. Hello, Lavira. Hello, Susan Walker. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Pretty peacock, putting it away. I don't need it anymore. And I will stamp just a little bit in the corners of the inside of the card. And I think what I'll do is add some more of these, the spruce bough, and some little acorns. So I'm just going to add just a little bit right there, and then keep checking my thumbs because, you know, because of that. I'm so far so good, but I feel like I'm pushing my boundaries, that at some point the ink is going to get on this beautiful white card base, and then that's that. All right, so now I do want to add a little bit in this corner. So I'm just going to flip the card, or the card front, over on itself, and then I'll just do a little bit of stamping right here. Perfect. Oh, I still got little bits of ink. All right, so now we've got, this is the inside so far. This is the focal point for the outside. We're going to map this to the pretty peacock layer. And we need to do just a little bit more stamping. All right, with this little acorn stamp. So I'm going to use Pecan pie. And I'm just going to stamp this acorn 3 times on my scrap paper. And then there is a corresponding die in the bundle that I will use to cut those out. So I've already gone ahead and done that last night just to save a bit of time. So here's 3 acorns that are already cut out with the die. And the die is really easy to line up with these acorns, which is super handy. I'll save those for another project. And then before I close up my pretty peacock, then I just want to add some acorns to the inside layer. I think the acorn might be my favorite stamp. It's so cute. It's just the cutest little acorn. Okay, there we go. Inside. Now we're just going to build the outside. Oh, Tanya, the Canadian stamper tuning in. Were you texting me? I think I know why when you tried to call, my phone went to voicemail. Somehow, I don't know how I did it, but somehow my phone decided that when I'm at home, I need to be in focus mode. So I think that's what the problem was. And no, I have no idea how I did that. My phone, you know, it has a mind of its own. It seems to like to do things all the time that I don't want it to do. All right, it's really a me problem. Okay, thanks, Susan. I think the front is pretty too. And it's just really easy to put together, right? Just getting back to the basics with some simple stamping and making the most of these stamp sets when they are able to be layered together so beautifully, right? Better check my fingers. I'm doing so good. I'm bound to get ink on them. So I have, some of you already know, but this is my birthday month. And tomorrow actually is my birthday. I'm turning 50. So all month, it is my 50 and fabulous Craft-a-Bration. Yeah, I came up with that on my own. I'm just matting this to the pretty peacock. And again, if you're tuning in a little bit late, the pretty peacock layer is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8, and the basic white is 4 by 5 1/4. So I just matted this, the stamped layer, right onto the pretty peacock layer, and then we're going to pop this. Well, you can either pop it up or you can glue it flat to the front of your card base. Hey, Marion, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Kathleen. All right, so for my 50 and Fabulous Craft-a-Bration, there's lots going on. First of all, if you order from me, any order, you will be getting a free gift in the mail, plus an invitation to a Zoom card class on November 30th at 10 a.m. using the Delicate Pines bundle. So it will be extra cards using the same bundle. Now, if your order is $60 or more before tax and shipping, I'm also going to send you the card kits to craft along, so you don't have to cut or prep any of your own pieces. You're just going to need a stamp set, dies, ink, right? And of course, you don't have to use the same stamp set I'm using. You can substitute for whatever you have in your stash. Hey, Jack, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Jack is one of my oldest friends. And when I posted my first post about 50 and Fabulous, she quickly reminded me it wasn't actually my birthday when I posted it. Yeah, thanks, Jackie. I didn't forget. I didn't forget. All right, Wink Stella. Wink Stella is Magic Sparkle. I love this. I'm just going to color over, just gently brush over the Snowflake Pine design with the Wink Stella to add some sparkle to the card front. Now, you can go crazy and you can Wink Stella everything if you love sparkle, or you can be moderate. You do you. All right, so where was I? Okay, $60. You get the card kits, so you don't have to do any prep. And then the next tier is if your order is $100 before tax and shipping, 100 or more, you're going to get the free gift, the card kits, plus the class and a pack of embellishments. I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to keep track of. So here's the best part. You don't have to keep track. I'm going to do it for you. It's just automatic. If you order from me, I see the order. I know what you're going to get based on my 3-tier system, so don't worry about it. I'll reach out to you. I'll let you know. I'll mail you the things. All right. Plus, on top of this, I'm also adding a kit together. So if you add a kit to your order, then I'm also inviting you to a kit together, either online, November 29th at 10 a.m., or in person, December 6th. Phew, all right. And that's not all. Finally, every order in November is entered into a draw for $50 in Stampin' Rewards, because I'm going to be 50. So I think it's going to be fun. We'll see how it goes. And maybe every year I'll do something similar for my birthday, except the Stampin' Rewards will have to increase every year accordingly, like $51 in Stampin' Rewards when I turn 51, 52, etc. You see where I'm going with this. All right, I've sparkled up all the snowflakes, I think. Yes, okay. Now, you might not be able to see the shimmer because the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's there. So if you haven't tried Wink Stella, then you should, because it's so pretty. Now, the last thing we need to do for this card is just add some acorns, and I'm going to pop these up in the bottom left and top right corner. Okay. There we go. So tomorrow, I have got some plans. Mike's not always home on my birthday, so I've been kind of used to doing my own thing. So I've got some things happening in the morning, and then I'll do some family stuff, and I think Mike will make me my favorite dinner that he makes, which happens to be jambalaya. He does a great job. He does a great job. It's nice and spicy, and I really like it like that. So every year for my birthday, if he's home and he asks, what do I want for birthday dinner? Of course, I'm going to tell him to make me jambalaya. It's my favorite. Thanks, Christine. Yeah, I keep hearing that 50 is still young. All right. Thank you, Susan. Thanks, Lavira. Oh, Susan, your youngest granddaughter's birthday is also tomorrow in St. Albert. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's a small world, hey? All right. Hello, Kristen. Yeah, the pine cones are cute. I really like them. All right, I'm getting distracted. That's like typical Kate. So, all right, there we go. Second pine cone. Here we go. Card number 1, Delicate Pines, card class at home. Simple stamping with just the slightest elevation with die cut pine cones. So next Thursday, oh, you know what? Hang on. I almost forgot. I'm going to add some faceted snowflakes because, it's not sparkly enough. It's just not sparkly enough. So I'm going to use these pretty Peacock snowflakes, which would have been extremely handy if I had glue smudges anywhere, but the baby wipe that I brought out really saved the day today. All right, one more. I do like adding these gems in 3s. There we go. All right, now it's done. Okay, project number 1 next Thursday will be project 2. We're going to bring in a few more elements with the designer series paper and do something a little bit differently. Oh, Susan, I wish you could order from me too. It's too bad that Stampin' Up! Has these sorts of borders, right? Anyway, I would have loved that. Yeah, I am. It is nice that my husband makes my favorite dinner. I'm going to flip the camera around. But trust me, it goes both ways. Because when it's his birthday, then he chooses what he wants me to make. And usually he chooses eggplant parmesan, but not a quick kind. It's like the all day kind. Oh, Catherine, are they pine cones? Yeah, all right. I've been calling them acorns. Catherine, you're right. They're pine cones. Okay, shocking, I know that I don't have the right words. I'll remember now that they are pine cones. Going forward, I will not make that mistake again. I might. You might have to call me out on it. It's not that it's intentional, it's that my brain clearly needs coffee 24/7. Okay, pine cones. All right, so next Thursday we'll do another card with the Delicate Pines bundle. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to bring in the corresponding designer series paper, get a little fancy. I'm going to include some fun, at least one fun fold going in one of the classes, and I was thinking it'd be really fun to do a 3D project as well. So expect another 2 cards. One will be a fun fold, and then we'll do a 3D project because, Christmas, we need boxes for little things. Monday, I will be back live as well with another card design. I haven't decided what I'm going to use yet, but stay tuned because I'll figure that out Sunday and I'll post the supplies and measurements right on the page. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I am so grateful for all of you who catch the lives and catch the replays. I hope you have a lovely evening or day, depending on when you're watching this, and I hope to see you again on my page. Bye for now.